Hey, everybody. I'm here with Omar, the Tilted lawyer, who I wanted to join last night, but I couldn't because my flight was way too late. But I had a chance to troll the comments in return for your
I
gesture
trolled your
yesterday
comments. How about
afternoon.
that?
Yeah.
Mine was a lot better. Hey, Lauren, you sound like a chipmunk. Check your sound. I don't
Sorry,
even know
what's that?
I don't
I
even
missed
know
that.
if you caught, but right before, like maybe 30 seconds before, it's like, hey, while Lauren's not looking, everybody try to convince Lauren that she sounds like a chipmunk. And then I don't think
Yeah.
anybody came on. But then I said that, and then you ran with it.
Okay.
You
Well,
did a full diagnostic.
I did. I always have a tab open in case I need to like go into chat on YouTube and like ban a troll or something. And so I was like, let me listen to this back for 5 seconds and make sure I don't sound like a chipmunk. So,
I would not have let you go on for an hour, by the way. I just wanted to see if you would do it.
yeah. Well, it happened.
Well,
Yeah. So Omar is going to tell us about the FIHA stuff he didn't get to finish talking about, I guess, last night. And while he does that, I'm going to pull up some stuff for him to read in the text messages and all that. So.
yeah, so there was this whole discussion. I didn't get into it on my live because I was tired, and it's like really dorky. Not a lot of people wanted to even really talk about it, but it was this thing like, what do we do with the FIHA stuff, the employment law stuff, and not actually Golden, who I didn't know, but she's an employment lawyer, and the other one too, right? Little girl attorney, she's also an employment lawyer.
I
So this
think
is
so.
kind
I
of
forgot. I think
their
so.
cup of tea, but like the whole discussion was, you can't apply FIHA because that's an extraterritorial issue. We can't apply California law in a where the services were rendered in a different state. And there's like lots of precedent and lots of case law, and it's pretty definitive. And then in their opposition, they said, well, the contract stated that their choice of law was going to be California. And I thought that that was going to be like the death knell to their argument. I guess we're applying FIHA then.
I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
that, like when that first came out. Yeah.
But it turns out, and they're acting like nobody signed that contract. And I didn't know that at the time, which makes all this. So there's a presumption extraterritorially that federal courts, and even Lyman referenced it when he was talking about, why do we even have a federalist system then if we're just going to apply whatever state law, whatever? Why should this federal court apply California law if the party never agreed to it? And then they're arguing, well, we did agree to it because we wrote up a contract. Like, okay, but you didn't sign it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't sign it, then there's literally 250 years of precedent that states that federal courts sitting in diversity shall not apply the state laws of some foreign state federally unless there's some kind of an agreement or reason to do that when the services rendered happen in a different state. So they're trying to employ FIHA law, which is California statute. And then the other part of the argument was, well, California policy, FIHA policy is such that we're not going to allow for California residents to be discriminated in any state, in any of the 50 states. Therefore, it should be applied extraterritorially. But the judge basically said, and what defendants have said, was like, no, bullshit. There is a presumption against extraterritorial application of state law. So maybe it is a rebuttable presumption, but the only way you'd be able to rebut that is if you give me a signed written agreement where the parties have agreed to apply the laws of a specific state. And maybe it would have been inherent in that contract that Blake Lively was supposed to sign, but she didn't sign it. And so where there is no written enforceable contract, then we're just going to go by the status quo. And if the courts are going to be the ones to design what terms of an agreement these parties were operating under, they're going to go by the presumptions. In other words, why would the court presume that we should apply California law when virtually all of the production occurred in New York and all of the cause of action occurred in New York, and basically everything but for we filed this FIHA complaint, or but for Blake Lively may be a resident of California, sort of, even though nothing else took place in the state of California. Why would this court presume that we're going to apply California law when there's no written agreement? To me, if everything happens in New York, we're in the presumption that we're going to apply the rules of the state, which would be New York, which would not include FIHA in the analysis. And so the questions that Judge Lyman was asking, and obviously I wasn't there, you were there.
Sure.
And so you got to hear this whole discussion, but it was been reported. I don't think you touched on this. I don't remember if you did or not.
I don't think I did. I had so many pages and pages of notes that I haven't even touched on. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna wait till later.
Yeah, when it came to the contract stuff, it's like, yeah, I don't get contracts. Whatever they
No.
were talking about, they said stuff and contracts.
No, I sat there and I listened to them talk about it, but I was just like, I'm already writing so much stuff down, and I was like, if I try to write this and listen to it at the same time, my notes will be mashed potatoes because I won't understand anything. So
yeah. So I remember when I was analyzing this, when I read their motions on this issue, the extraterritorial application.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was like, they're dead in the water with this argument. And then their opposition said, yeah, but there's a contract. And then the retort to that, which I didn't know at the time, was, but nobody signed it, Dick. We didn't sign it. So therefore, you don't have an enforceable contract. You might have contemplated that, but obviously the terms changed. And in a business situation where we don't have a written enforceable contract, but the parties are operating as if they had a contract, and there had been hundreds of concessions made at the hands of Blake Lively's demands and suggestions and whatnot, then we're going to presume that this was a fluid situation. And if all of the other stuff happened in New York and we don't have a signed enforceable agreement dictating that FEHA should be a thing, then I'm not going to enforce it. And when the court wants to get in a whole discussion about federalism, why do I have a federalism? Why do we have a federalist system if you're just going to tell me that any sovereign state has the ability to apply its laws to other sovereign states, or more importantly, in the second district?
Mm-hmm.
Kiss my ass with that. And look, if I were to grant that, if I were to grant your extraterritorial application of FEHA California law, we are setting a very wild, dangerous precedent that has far-reaching applications far beyond this case. They will cite this case in every avenue, every conceivable avenue of civil law that you could possibly think of.
Yeah.
And it would create this huge roadblock, bottleneck of competing state laws that just doesn't make any sense for a judge to set that precedent, especially when there's not even a signed agreement. So kiss my ass with that. I felt like FEHA is out. We're not going to go by California law. We don't need it because we have other remedies for it. Therefore, the Lively parties are not going to be prejudiced, but they might not be able to collect the additional damages they may have contemplated under that statute. And we're done with this issue. That was pretty much it. I didn't go over that yesterday because I was tired and nobody seemed interested. But that would have been the conclusion.
I was interested. I was falling asleep because it was 1 a.m., but I was interested.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can only listen until certain hours of the night, and then it's like nothing is really. DFJ someone said Andy settled with Blake. Something about Perez reporting. Have you seen anything? I can't find it. I've
heard other people say that.
I have today. I have not actually heard that, but I wasn't looking. Last I saw, her side had filed like a response or an opposition on the docket because he was appealing. That's the last I heard. Let me see if I can actually find anything about that.
Yeah. By the way, Lauren's running the show tonight, so for everything that we talk about, I just told her, look, bring up whatever you want to bring up, man. I'm here.
That's always a dangerous game. Let's see.
I'm just looking at the unsolicited opinion. I might have been a little bit lit, a little bit
lit.
But not really. I didn't have. Well, I think they mean inebriated. I was not. Matter of fact, I didn't even finish my whiskey. I think I was just exhausted. It'd been a long day. It's been a long week.
Huh. I mean, I can agree with that. I was like, it's fucking Friday.
You're over there in New York, hanging out with the whole family, the whole content creator family.
Yeah. I mean, there was lots of people there. I mean, there were some people that watch, I guess, and they showed up as well. And I felt bad because I was like, I'm really bad at remembering like usernames and names. Putting them together. So I was just like, oh crap, I'm gonna forget. But I know people's faces, So if I saw them again, I would recognize them. But I've already forgotten like most of the people who told me like what their username was. You know what I mean? So if anybody's watching this and you met me, feel free to identify yourself. But just know that if I don't remember, it's not you, it's me. Okay.
It's definitely you.
Yeah.
Hey, did you catch my anecdotes about the difference between subjective sexual harassment And
I did.
and what'd you think about that line? Gayer than my 2 dogs?
Yeah, okay. I did. Okay.
See,
No,
one
I
of them
get
was
that.
offended, but others were offended for her, and I got scolded in the chat for it. It's like, well,
Well, don't do that.
okay.
I don't care. Well,
Well, I
don't
know
yell at
that,
them. I mean,
and therefore,
I've said way worse stuff to you.
oh
What
yeah,
the
like,
fuck?
you said my mom was haunted, and I left that comment up for like an hour.
Oh, that's right. I can't remember if I tried to say anything to you about that or if I was just like, I'm gonna let him leave it.
Well, I was ranting, so I wasn't even looking at the chat.
Oh, it's all good. I can't see anything on Perez about that. Why don't I look at court listener because I have Andy's case earmarked. Well, I don't know. I wish Michelle was here. She could tell us.
Well,
Okay, how about this? If anybody could find that for me, just direct me to it and then I'll pull it up. But right now, I'm going to
who's
just go watch
reporting
the
that?
PGA
Did
letter.
somebody report it? Like, was it in like the Daily Journal or something?
Somebody said Perez.
Andy's case is not over. Something was found the day you were at the courthouse.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah. Somebody's asking about today, like now, saying that he settled something. I don't know how that would go though, because Andy's not gonna just like willingly hand over some of this stuff.
I would say,
There's no
unless you
way.
heard that from Andy, the way that he's been carrying on about that, I wouldn't, unless it comes out of his mouth. I'm loath to believe it.
Yeah, I they got the text from the PR people. Oh, okay. So they just got so he probably agreed to give the messages that he had sent to the PR people, like whenever he would like inquire for comments or whatever he said to them, and if they responded back. So I could see him conceding on that if she would say, then I will not try to get your text messages with any of the crew or anyone involved in your documentary. Maybe
Yeah.
a bit, but again, don't hold me to that. I think that Andy would be the one to tell people about that. So let's let him do that.
I'm gonna hold you to it. You got to be responsible for your words. How about that? Hey, you got to say hello to Ricardo.
Hello, Ricardo. This is for
What's
you,
up,
Omar.
Ricardo. No, this is for Lauren and for Omar.
Oh, hello to all my lovelies, Lauren and Omar. Well, he
Oh, yeah,
thinks that I'm lovelier than you.
Somebody sent me a super chat for you. They said, "Here's $5 for Lauren." It's like, oh, I'll be sure to hand that to her. I'll be sure to
You're not
buy
gonna
her
hand me that. He said my lovelies, Lauren and Omar. I think that puts me at like higher in the lovely rank, if you ask me.
I'll concede. If you, yeah, you're definitely more lovely than me.
Mm-hmm. I think Perez made a mistake. Maybe he did. I don't know, guys. So I don't have anything official for you. I would wait till Andy says something.
Let's not run with that one. Let's reserve comment for that.
Yeah. Perez read his text from the docket. Oh, Perez's texts are, yeah. I know that his were leaked. I haven't actually looked at them yet, but I don't know what that's about. So we'll have to see if we can find that. If anyone could point me to the direction, again, if you have an exhibit number for Perez's text, I'll pull it up. But right now I have this PGA letter I wanted to look at.
Oh, yeah. People were telling me to look at that. So perfect timing, I guess.
Yeah. So this PGA letter is like Blake's own words describing obviously what happened or which role she had in the film. And it kind of contradicts everything that she and her attorneys have been trying to build their case on, which is that she's an employee and that she was, didn't have power to what's that?
This is not the same letter that we saw earlier in the litigation. This was just recently
No, this
released.
is different.
Okay.
No, it's different. This is, nobody had ever seen this until a couple days ago, and I was just like, oh, this is nuts.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, dear Producers Guild of America, I'm writing you with meaningful urgency and also respect. I'm sorry, but I'm asking for your attention to this in a crunched time period. I'm positive you have matters much more significant than this, but I bear my heart. What's that?
I was telling her to get on with it. Enough with throat clearing. Just what are you asking?
When you see her emails and like Ryan Reynolds emails to people, they're like so long-winded and love bomby and crazy. It's nutty.
I've been doing this thing like in court where like people say, hey, I want to offer this because I have the kids for 23 days and you have the kids for 7 days. And I just thought it would be fair. It's like, just give me the number, dude. What do you want to pay? What is your proposal? This is my final and best offer. I'll give you $1,000 a month. And then I'll tell my client, that's not his final offer. Watch this. And it wasn't his final offer. He went up to 1,600.
Oh, geez.
Never mind. And my client still wanted more. Family law, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it's family law. I had no idea family law could be so interesting sometimes.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's substantial other issues with that guy hiding income. She was right to not accept it without looking at the discovery. And so I'm just saying, I don't even know how I got off talking about that. It's late on a Friday. It is wine o'clock. My wife poured me, well, I poured my wife, whatever this is. She didn't like it. It's a red.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's some kind of a red. I don't know if it's a Merlot or a cab or.
I don't know either. I don't drink a lot of wine, but I'm too late for drinking over here, man.
Hey, do wine connoisseurs frown on red blends? Like, is that like the poor people's choice for wine? I'm just asking because I got a lot of red blends, and so in the subscription service that I'm subscribed to,
yeah,
she's totally knows what I'm talking. She's totally in this conversation.
Totally, I am. Yeah, I heard wine connoisseurs and your monthly subscription. 1233 attachment 149. I'll pull that up so we can read it after this. Hang on.
All right.
149. There it is. Okay. So, anyways, let me try to get through this long-winded letter. Dude. I bear my heart to you, asking for you to take a look at this note, as this film and my work in it off camera means more to me than anything I've done in my 20-year career. Okay. There's been a recent update / change with regard to my official role in the upcoming film. It ends with us releasing August 9th. Just a few days ago, I was officially granted the title of producer. Yeah, after like bullying it out of people. After a year and a half of asking is putting it lightly, and working tirelessly to prove the validity of that title, I've produced every moment of this film, from pre-production through production into post, and now into marketing and worldwide release. I'm grateful that the contract has now been revised to reflect the immense work that I put in.
Get the fuck out of here! Oh, I'm already pissed. I don't even know what the rest of this letter says, but
it gets worse for her case. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I'm writing to ask for the great honor of receiving the PGA tag. I don't take that lightly. In our household, that's the highest honor in film. So I understand the gravity of the ask. I also understand the absurdity of asking this late. Without the official title of producer, my hands were tied. I couldn't apply when I wanted to. No crew could tick me in the box of producers who should receive the tag when pulled. I'm pleading now because I'm confident with all my soul that if you saw what I did on this film, you would agree that this mark is without question deserved. I'll lay out how we got here below because I appreciate that this isn't the way the process usually works. You granted the PGA tag to 2 producers, Alex Sachs and Jamie Heath, on April 18th. I'm in full support of their tags. My understanding is that they both are in support of mine. Yeah. Okay.
That's your understanding. That's debatable.
Yeah. Well, you can see behind the scenes what she was doing and how they were saying she's trying to take over everything. And like, we don't want to write this letter, but we have to, at least on Jamie Heath's part. What's that?
If I'm just an objective person reading this, there's all kinds of red flags. Like, okay, why is she saying it like that though? Her belief, it is her understanding. Obviously, there's some kind of dispute going on. There's so many red flags with this letter. I would not take her at her word at this at all. I think I just kindly write back and say, no, I'm going to take this under further review and like to hear from the other people involved.
Well, she got like a whole bunch of people to speak on her behalf, and
I'm sure she did, because she's a powerful person that could make or break careers.
Right.
Those kind of people, you're usually not at a shortage for people to vouch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. So we see the emails that she sent to like lots of people asking to help get her cut of the film chosen over Justin's and all that. So I don't know exactly everyone that she emailed asking about this PGA mark, but I think there's actually letters attached to this. We won't get into everyone else's letters tonight. I just want to read hers, but from other people that she had asked to support her. Let's see. And they did ultimately give her the PGA mark, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, she did. She definitely got the PGA mark because that was like a known back in like January.
Right. Okay. Let's see. My understanding is that they are both in support of mine. I have a note from Alex below attached below, along with 16 other department heads and Jamie. If asked, I'm sure I would confirm the work I did. So much has changed since they filed for their tag. The most significant being that the cut of the film that was selected to be released is my cut. Selected to be released. So we see emails between her and one of the heads at Sony where she says, I don't care if his tested higher, basically that she and Colleen like her cut. And she says, it's my cut. We're using my cut. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it was actually selected based on merit or that it was tested better with audiences. And she had all these celebrities emailing and like speaking up and saying, use her cut or whatever. And she, even though it didn't test as well, got her way. So, which I'll lay out in more detail later, but I imagine you appreciate the gravity of that advancement alone since April 18th. Also, as to not get too bogged down, a little late for that, in more of the why now details, I'll focus on the facts of the work I did in each stage of production, bulleted out below. I apologize for how dense it is, but it's important to me to lay out all I've done.
Pretty airy so far, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Get to the point, lady.
Right. Lay out all I've done when asking for such significant consideration from you all at the PGA. I'm changing the font to make it them easy to read as possible. What's that?
I don't even think this is written by AI. I think she's writing this, and it shows. Like,
she did. And somebody did make a video who has the PGA mark, who made a video explaining that this is like a normal letter to write to the PGA, but they don't know the circumstances and why it's so odd. It's because she's saying she was like powerless and all this stuff. But so that person like admitted, they were like, I don't really know the background of this case or whatever. I just read the letter and it's like a normal letter, but she didn't understand why it was significant. So maybe it's a normal letter to write if you're not a psycho who took over the film from people and forced them to sign a document and like potentially ruin their careers if they didn't give you everything they want.
I mean, do they mean like normal letter to write as in what she's asking for, or normal in the style of like
I guess like this style of like explaining everything that she did and all that.
But she's explained nothing so far, is my point. Like she's just
Well, part of that is because I keep stopping to comment on how annoyed I am, but that's my fault. All right. Development / pre-production. I led the location shift from Boston to New Jersey and helped to solve all cost and schedule logistics associated. So she didn't want to do it in New Jersey. She negotiated that they would, or she didn't want to do it in Boston. She negotiated with them and they said, fine, we can do it in New Jersey. I mean, I don't know why that's special. I personally called and or wrote emails to crew and put forth names for department head roles, including hair, makeup, director of photography, costume design, transportation, security, camera operators, etc. Okay. I identified and onboarded freelance team members for the cast members, not just myself, to help achieve the goals for the screen, including a fitness trainer, nutritionist, meal prep service, spray tanner, wig maker, hair colorist, etc. I reviewed and reshaped the creative of the production design for all key locations for all characters, also made changes to use existing elements of locations to save cost. I called in favors with home design contacts to get items loaned, discounted, or gifted to save production design costs. So her demanding that she get to use her own like wardrobe and wardrobe choices actually killed their budget, to my understanding. So I don't know why she's like bragging about saving costs. I review and reshaped the creative of the costume design for all characters. I called in favors with fashion contacts. Yeah, okay. To get items loaned, discounted, or gifted to save costume design costs. Again, I don't think she saved them any costs on wardrobe, but okay. I reviewed and reshaped.
What's that? Is there an argument based on this letter that she was more or less an independent contractor as opposed to like a salaried employee?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is they're trying to argue that she was an employee, and the thing that Wayfair is saying is no, she was an independent contractor, and this has like a huge implication basically for actors who use like ALA, and I don't understand. I only understand the bare minimum about how that works, but it would have a lot of implications for people in the industry because a lot of actors will sign on this way and be treated as an independent contractor, whereas now like if something happens, would all of them be considered employees then all of a sudden? So like that's something that he has to consider when he's making his judgments.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding of that was that most actors on the set of films are independent contractors, unless they're like some kind of contracted out, some kind of like extended film contract or whatever. That stuff is those contracts have been written since honestly like the 1890s.
Right.
And I'm fairly certain like the Screen Actors Guild went a long way towards solving a lot of those issues. But I will defer to those that specialize in employment law, like LGA and NAG. Yeah, NAG, not actually Golden, NAG. It's weird to say that, but you know what I mean. It's
I do.
Their names are so long.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't mean to call her a NAG, but you know what I mean.
No, yeah, everybody understands. Don't worry, everybody calls her that.
Okay.
That's funny though that you're like worried about that. I understand though, because I feel the same way a lot of the time. Okay, where did I leave off here? I called in favors. I reviewed and reshaped the creative costume design, the fashion context. Okay, I reviewed and reshaped the creative of the prop and floral designs. I did outreach to florists all over Instagram and beyond. Blah blah blah. I went through hundreds of casting tapes to help find the rest of the cast, including our stars Atlas, Young Lily, Young Atlas, and Jenny Bloom. I rewrote the script to improve the role of Jenny Bloom after 3 actresses turned it down. Long-winded. I personally identified and put forth Amy Morton to play Jenny Bloom after the rewrite of Jenny Bloom was implemented. Amy accepted her offer. I worked alongside my agents as well as other talent agencies to put forth names for Atlas. So this is just more stuff about casting. Screen tested with all options for Atlas. When we struck out with those actors, we offered the role to our original choice, Brandon Sklenar, who then turned it down. So I had my team get involved in convincing him to do it. I wrote him a personal letter as well. He accepted the role. So like they had some kind of pre-existing relationship in order for him to take the role. And then you can see in the messages with him, which we're probably not going to get to tonight because I don't want to stream past 1:30, but like she's telling him basically, I heard Justin say something to you along the lines of, oh, I want to tell you something, but I can't do that anymore. I'll get canceled or something. And then Brandon was like, oh, yeah, I do have a vague memory of that. And then that's what Brandon ran with. And this is what she was doing in a lot of text to these people, as was saying, you be sure to mention that Justin did this. Or do you remember when Justin said that? Or I remember Justin said this to you, and they would just agree with it.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Leonardo da Vinci's resume from 1482.
You lost me. What is that? Well, explain, please.
All the stuff like he says, I have extremely light and strong bridges adapted to be most easily carried, and with them you may pursue, and at any time flee from the enemy. I know when a place is besieged to take the water out of the trenches, if by reason of the height of the banks, of the strength. He's basically saying all of these awesome things that he can do and that he's capable of. And that he's already accomplished. And Blake Lively, if you didn't know any better, rivals Leonardo da Vinci.
Sounds like it. That? Yeah. Okay. I gave the director references.
Buzzy Buzz knows what I'm talking about.
I'm quite familiar with that resume. Oh, yeah. I gave the director, Justin, references for the characters, dialogue, and visuals. I gave the director, forced upon him is probably a more accurate description. I zoomed with every cast member to get their notes and ideas. I then did significant rewrites of the script to incorporate all of the notes of the cast, studio, distributor, author, director, and myself, since our writer was not available at that time because she was on another job. I also addressed, so she like rewrote the entire fucking movie, she says. I also addressed scheduling, financial, location, weather, and or other logistics. I don't care about that. I pushed the studio, distributor, and director to change the rating of the film from an R rating to a PG-13 because there was a significantly bigger market opportunity with PG-13, which the book captured. So that was actually not true. So Sony was asking for an R-rated film. But she pushed them. They gave forced when she, took everything over, and they called her a terrorist because she was doing this. Sony execs did. She pushed them to change it to PG-13. But it was supposed to be an R-rated film. That's what they wanted. I argued that in order to replicate the book's success in the screen adaptation, we needed to serve the same age range of audience. The issue was the studio already had a deal in place with the distributor to deliver an R-rated film. Yeah. I had multiple conversations with all parties, helping to convince everyone of the shared bigger opportunity for all, resulting in everyone agreeing to make the film PG-13, which is where it stands today. Basically, she was like terrorizing them into doing these things, though. It's crazy.
Bullying.
Right. So here, this is interesting, again, when it comes to the argument over like whether or not she had any power or whether or not she was like a powerless employee. Yeah. She says, I constantly broke schedule and budget and pre-production, then daily and often hourly during production. I unfortunately was responsible for the firing of our first AD. Julie.
That doesn't sound, I guess an employee could technically fire people. I'm just saying she had a lot more power than she lets on.
Yeah, so the thing that they're saying basically though is that she was powerless and she couldn't get her way, but like this was Wayfair's person, like Julie was the first AD was, and she was just like, no, she has to go.
And this isn't an issue that we get decided by the judge. This is going to a jury, so they're going to see like this letter as an exhibit, and she's going to get cross-examined on this letter for like 30 to 45 minutes, and they're going to think that she's full of shit.
Yeah, right. Let's see. As we were not making our days for the first many weeks. And I had the 20 years of experience to see that the days were not boarded well enough for the get-go, and her experience was not appropriate for the film we were making. This person, I don't know anything about her per se, but like seen people's comments saying that she has actually like quite a lot of experience, and she's a very accomplished person. So this was kind of bullshit. She just wanted to bring on her own person. Let's see. I flagged security risks and pushed to execute getting the entire crew badges. I'd never been on a set without them, yet they were not put in place for this production. We were having breaches where fans were filming our monitors and uploading the scenes to TikTok because no one knew who was crew and who wasn't. Badges were in place a day later. I never saw any TikToks of like monitors or anything like that, but Jenny Slate did make a complaint that Justin was being nice to fans and talking to them outside when they were filming, and she didn't want him to do that because she didn't want to be expected to do that, which just don't do it then, you know? No one asked her to do that. Let's see. I flagged and had the production name changed to an alias as a standard in my experience. Cool, I guess. Right. I think we can skim some of this shit because it's really just stupid.
Pretty much skim the rest of it. I think we get the gist. Right. She thinks that she's awesome, and she's.
This is exhausting. This is exhausting to read. Like I'm tired.
Man, I was I caught some of your stream on Kurt's, and you guys were talking about they were making a joke like a sex joke or whatever. And I think laughed. And then it's like, why do you think that you get to participate in this jokes? Because I'm like part of the conversation. And then they're like had this insufferable conversation. Right. How could you possibly think that you're worthy to engage in having a laugh at our expense or whatever? I don't know. It was she's just not anybody that be a friend in life.
To give you like another really bizarre thing, I should tell you. So that example that you're talking about referencing now for people who didn't get to see that was when Jenny Slate was talking to Blake Lively and they were talking with or in front of Justin about this issue with her like place being too small or something, and she said it was terrible for sex, and they were like cracking a joke about that, and then Justin goes, "Oh yeah, terrible for sex," and she was like, then they were texting about, "Oh wow, he's so inappropriate. I don't know why he thinks he can do that." And then there was another series of complaining and text messages between them where Jenny Slate said something about how she used to stare at Britney Spears, basically abs or like abdomen or whatever you want to call it, for hours or something. She was exaggerating, I guess, but like basically saying she used to be like drooling over Britney Spears. And then Justin said same. And they were like, that was so inappropriate. Oh my God.
All right.
I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, that's insane.
I'm just never going to talk to this lady ever again. Who's this lady? The fuck?
Jenny Slate?
No, I mean, obviously, Blake Lively and Jenny Slate, or whoever was it, the ones making those comments.
Oh yeah,
right. Like clowning Baldoni for like commenting on their joke.
Well, they called him like a narcissist and a sociopath and a feminist and all that because he made like which I guess if you really don't like somebody, you can consider it awkward, but then don't say those things in front of them. And like she was complaining to Blake in these texts saying, I basically feel like I have to like just like not say anything and censor myself because of what he does. And I'm like, yeah, if you don't want someone to converse with you on these topics, do not say those things in front of them.
This is why, this is how 8th graders behave. This is how 8th graders get power over other folks by bullying them. And this is why I happen to support schoolyard fights. They serve a really good purpose.
Oh God. I don't know about that.
I mean,
you're gonna have to elaborate on that one.
And then afterwards, after nobody dies, hopefully it's successful. Somebody won, somebody lost, and you guys are friends after that. Like probably.
I think where I get held up is the hopefully. You know what I mean?
You can never be too sure. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes. And like take him with a Y, strap some gloves on, let them go at it for like 45 seconds or whatever. They're tying themselves out. They'll hug it out afterwards, and
I would immediately cry. So
maybe. Well,
I can just tell you right now.
There's benefit to it as all.
When I get mad at people, I just cry. I don't want to hurt them. I just cry.
I have not yet employed that strategy with the girls. Whenever they
can try. You should try it.
Oh, they won't.
You know what? I bet that would actually freak them out if Dad started crying.
Yeah. Oh, well, I would not cry. No. But if I told them to fight to the death, they just would not. Like, no, Dad, that's mean. Okay, you're right. That is mean. You should never fight anybody to the death.
Well, they had no problem trying to knock me on the floor.
Yeah, but it was like, I mean, they thought that jujitsu was, they didn't realize jujitsu was fighting. They just thought it was like tumbling on the floor, you know? So,
Well, so I guess the end is remarkable, somebody said. So we'll read the end of this. But there's another point right here. I manage the politics and HR concerns on a daily basis, acting as an intermediary to keep crew and cast engaged, safe, and on board. Okay.
on a daily basis, huh?
Yeah, she managed HR. Okay.
But doesn't know how to file an SH complaint through the appropriate channels. Yeah. Kiss my ass.
Never tried to file an actual complaint. Never talked to SAG. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need to read every single piece of this. It's all just kind of like self-serving bullshit. And I get that people, when they're asking for PGA, they need to explain stuff like this. But like, still, it's just kind of, when you know the background of what she did, it's just kind of, this is like bloviating and stupid.
Yeah, if I had to read like, you know, multiple of these a day, I would hate my job so bad.
It depends on how much you're paying me.
You know, hey, just give me the highlights. What are they trying to, what do they do? What do they want?
Yeah. Let's see. I was able to omit 3+ days of shooting via rethinking the schedule. I mean, good for you, I guess. Let's see. Who's texting me? That's my sister. I was the director's partner in all creative and logistical concerns. I think partner is putting it in an interesting way. You were his tormentor, but okay. Helping to execute the best outcome for the film. I would push back when needed. I would support when needed. The film is and was always my top priority. Okay. Cool, I guess. I led hiring a new intimacy coordinator and intimacy doubles to help block out the sensitive scenes for both safety and shooting efficiency. So like she really didn't want to work with the first intimacy coordinator for some reason. It made no sense.
I think that was just a power play on her part.
Yeah, probably.
I will not use that one. We'll use mine. All right, we'll use yours then. Yeah. Sort of like Laura Owens. I will not use their court reporter. I want an independent one. So then you pick it then.
Well, to be fair, the court reporter is obviously part of a conspiracy. So she brought on another producer. Where is it? When issues arose, I led the hiring of a freelance producer to help balance the set. The incredible Todd Black. Cool, good for you.
Incredible Todd Black.
Yeah, she's really flowery on Todd for some reason on this. Let's see. I called and led meetings with all department heads, the studio, and the distributor when we had extenuating circumstances challenging our production plan, including the wildfires as well as pickets from the writer's strike. I acted as a liaison between cast and their reps in finding solutions to finishing the film, and I also acted as an intermediary between the other actors, their reps, and also crew members who were coming to me for guidance and help because they were concerned about being replaced with people who would cross the WGA picket line. I absolved them of their concerns of being replaced by standing in support of the WGA myself and not crossing a picket line myself. You did, though. You did. She and Ryan both rewrote some of that script while the strike was going on. So that was a lie. All right. I spent minimum 10 hours a day every day since April 22nd in post. Nobody asked her to do that. Like, nobody asked her to have a cut of the film. This text from Sony with each other are saying she's going to demand her own cut of the film, and then she did. So,
yeah, I remember that.
It's just nutty. I worked with my own editors May 2nd onward. Let's see. I brought in a new composer. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I don't need that.
Could we get to the end, like the spectacular end that I'm waiting for the punchline with this.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I don't miss anything too crazy here. I held my own friends and family tests with top filmmakers I know. Asking for their input. Yep. Seen that. The cut of the film that I led was selected as the version of the film that will be released on August 9th. Yeah, again, saw that.
Because she threw a temper tantrum and said, "Man, I'm just not going to participate in anything."
Yeah. So she called a meeting with the president of Sony and the entire marketing team to lay out the angle of the marketing campaign, which is interesting because, and I don't know if you saw this, but she, was trying to say that Justin was in charge of the marketing and that he was the reason they weren't talking about domestic violence in promotion. And that's what she told Isabella and Colleen and all these people. And so in their deposition transcripts, you can see that they were angry at Justin because they believed that it was his fault that they were being bullied online for not talking about domestic violence. And they said that he was forcing them not to talk about it while he was talking about it in order to make himself look like the good guy and them to look like the bad guy. But they apparently didn't know, because when they asked her, like the Isabella, especially, who was in charge of the marketing and whose instruction was it for you not to talk about domestic violence, she at first said Wayfair, and then she was like, oh, well, I think it was Sony. Like, they didn't even know who it was that was in charge of the marketing. And it was Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds, his company, and Sony and Blake who were working on the marketing. So she turned all these people against him with that, by convincing them that it was his fault they weren't talking about it. And then you can see in these Sony executives' messages that they were saying she's so stupid because she would not follow our advice not to market her hair care line in this. So
Mace said that some words in my chat are getting flagged, and
weird.
He's probably right, because sometimes it flags my stuff. Like sometimes stuff that I write in gets flagged. Like, what did I do? Why can't I say what I want?
Actually, I did see a lot of flagging going on last night just in a little bit. I was able to read the chat in yours.
I don't even know how to adjust those settings, honestly.
I don't either, because it was happening in Bruce's a little bit too earlier, I think.
Because sometimes I will say stuff and it flags me, and it's like, well, then I'm just not
yeah, I've been flagged before. But I probably earned that.
Okay. For 1K short was flagged. Really? What is that about?
Weird.
I don't know. I'll try to figure out why that's happening. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I have any control over it, to be honest with you.
It maybe not. If you didn't do a setting to flag certain words, then it's probably just YouTube.
I certainly didn't, unless Dominic did, like a long time ago, which I sincerely doubt.
Yeah.
He's not the sensitive type. He's a little sensitive.
Okay. So she's like meeting with the president of Sony and all this stuff, and working on the campaign. Again, lots of control. I personally secured Taylor Swift to loan her song to our trailer and marketing efforts, which helped it to be the largest debut of a film-led film trailer of all time. Wild. So proud. So she, again, like tried to pretend that Taylor Swift had nothing to do with this, and Taylor Swift also pretended that she had nothing to do with any of this, but that was clearly not true.
You know what I'm noticing? I feel like my face is too bright. Like I'm wearing black, like a black hoodie, and like my face is like this floating ghoul.
Honestly, the thought did not cross my mind, but I won't argue with you.
Just saying, I look funny is all.
No, I didn't think you look funny. It's fine.
It's like I tell my daughter, "Hey, what's wrong with your face?" It's like, well, with your face, Dad. Well, you got a point there. I hate to break it to you.
You're right.
I don't tell her like that.
So this, we don't need to read the rest of all this shit, right? Let's see. I still have months ahead of me to finish this film, and both what you see on screen as well as how we sell it to audiences the world over. As much as this tag means to me, and it means everything, what I'm in fight of most is the film being as great as it can possibly be. So ultimately, that's taken all my most eloquent energy. I think you get the idea, though. As promised, I'm including below letters from our department heads in support of my application for the PGA mark. You'll find, and then we have all these people listed there. Yep. To be clear, while asking to be granted the PGA mark myself, I do believe that both Alex Sachs and Jamie Heath should keep the PGA mark they received. They were both there every single day in every meeting and decision. At this time, you will not find a letter from the director, Justin Baldoni, or the other PGA producer, Jamie Heath. Jamie and Justin will not be contesting my mark. They just, as of this moment, won't be writing a letter to you all like the rest of the department heads did. I imagine
because they're being coerced.
Right, exactly. I imagine if you reach out to them, they would confirm the extent of my involvement. Please don't take my word for it, though. Please take the rest of our department heads below, who you are more than welcome to reach out to at any time. Please do. Their contact info is included in their letters. Finally, I thank you for reading all of this. It's taken every bit of me, practically, logistically, creatively, and emotionally. So thank you for considering this. I also know and appreciate, again, this is not how this mark grant goes down. I wish I was given the credit for my work sooner so I was able to be given a fair shot at applying the right way. I know precedent is important, and on that, my dear friend Bradley Cooper gave me again, she's like using all these Hollywood people.
Yeah.
My dear friend Bradley Cooper gave me a pep talk about pushing for this, citing, and he told me I could mention this to you all, that a similar situation happened to him on Nightmare Alley. He was hired as an actor, but ended up extensively producing the film, and a month before release, he was given the producer credit. He applied for a Hail Mary PGA mark with the support of the film's crew, was granted it. So I am hoping and praying that it's possible here as well.
Oh, here she goes. As a woman in this industry for 20 years, the mother of 3 daughters, a big reason I'm pushing to be acknowledged truthfully and accurately for the work I've done on this film is because I believe that it's an important thing in this day and age for a woman to be given credit for the work she did. It's simple as that. I earned it 50x over again on this job, but I may not get credit for it. And that hurts. Not just for me, but for all the women who are told that they can't be given credit because there are already too many female producers. We do the work anyway, and we have to fight exponentially harder to be acknowledged. And each of our fights paves the way for the next female producer. This reminds me of like a storybook that I read to my girls about unicorns are not imaginary or something. Oh, unicorns are definitely real. And then unicorns, the little girl tells her parents that unicorns are real. And then the unicorn tells his parents that little girls are real. And at the end of it, like both of their parents don't believe them, but they know in each other when they meet in their dreams, when they're riding on rainbows, that they are definitely real. And anyway, that's what that paragraph reminds me.
I'm just wondering who said there are too many female producers.
I don't know.
I've never heard that. Who said that? Can anyone tell me who said that? All right. I implore you at the, what's that?
Jack Nicholson said that once.
Did he?
He famously said, I'm not going to repeat what he said, but he said something about female superiors in that very famous scene with, you know what? It was made in 1992. I just shouldn't say anything because this is your stream as well, and I don't want to get you in trouble.
Okay. Because I have no idea what you're talking about, I'm going to let you do that. Okay.
You don't want me reciting any line from that scene.
Oh, I get you. Okay. I implore you at the Producers Guild of America to look into all the facts here. Please don't take my word for it. Please do the work.
It was something about female superiors and BJs. That's all.
Oh, I think that's a little different. I think it's a little different.
It's the same tenor, though. It's the same tenor.
Yeah.
They're hitting the same notes.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Definitely look it up. It was way before your time.
I'm sorry to ask this of you this late in the game, but as you see, I wasn't able to sooner. I promise you, you'll be granting a tag to someone who gave everything of herself to this film to earn this honor, and it's something I will cherish for life. I hope you will join me in standing for what's right and true with regard to who has earned the PGA mark for the film It Ends With Us while we still have time. We lock and ship picture imminently, so I thank you for your attention in such limited time. It's in your hands now. I can sleep well knowing I did all I can do. Thank you again for your time and consideration. With respect and gratitude, Blake Lively Reynolds. And then I'm not going to read all these other letters tonight.
What if the response was, Blake Lively, I've read your letter and I've considered it. The answer is no. Thank you for your time and efforts.
Well, I'm sure then she would have like somehow made some sort of super feminist play about that and been like, they denied it because I'm a woman.
And, you know, I would have dared her to do that.
She probably would have.
I'm sure she did. She literally brought an SH lawsuit that has no merit. That's about to get MSJ'd.
Yeah.
For much less.
Yeah. Let me, okay, I can close these. I want to look at these that somebody brought up in the chat there. These are apparently Perez's text messages. Mario Perez Hilton, yeah. Okay. 1 second. I need to drink
Mario? I didn't know that. I'm pretty sure you muted yourself, Lauren. Hey, by the way, can we confirm that Perez's name is Mario?
Yeah, it's Mario.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's Mario. Is it Lavandiera? Is that how you say his last name?
I know him better now.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can see this better. Hey, when you wake up, and this is a message from Perez, and I think it's to Melissa Nathan. He's linking to a thread in the Colleen Hoover subreddit. It says, I know a lot of the drama for It Ends With Us. I just don't know who to share it with, so here we are. And I vaguely remember this post is from a long time ago. We don't need to read it, though. Then he sends links to like pop culture and all that. This is going very viral. Is any of this true? Particularly the part about Taylor having the film's composer fired. And mind you, the important thing here is that this is the date, January 30th, 2025, over a month after the lawsuits were filed. So he wasn't working with them when they were alleged to have been reaching out to content creators and giving them stories to tell, right? Okay. Particularly the part about Taylor having the film's composer fired. Melissa says, yes, one sec. This is so weird to me. Let me get going notes on this, but bear with me because look at this. And then she's showing him TikToks. He likes the message. Yeah.
I thought he was like being sort of like facetious. Is he Hispanic?
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, the Hilton throws me off, I guess. And Mario was Italian. And
this is his real name.
I'm pretty sure that's a Hispanic last name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Cosign.
Okay. I'm happy for you to say this to that. Source close says Blake and Ryan need to know that the other side has text from Leslie Sloan to reporters that show attempting to place stories about Justin from July. She started this off record. Sources close say they're taken aback themselves. And if correct, this is definitely a real insider. And Sony never told us she threatened to go to New York Times. So if true, and this happened, that's crazy. I don't know if that's true or not still. A large percentage of this is true of what she did at the time, but no one would have known this apart from a real insider. So it's really mind-blowing. According to this timeline from Reddit, that would mean she made the New York Times threat in May. Huh. I wonder if that's true. So basically he's going to cover this and he's trying to find out, is this real? So he reaches out to one of the PR people and that's what she's telling him about it, which, whatever. She's giving him a statement there.
So these are text messages that were subpoenaed that have now been handed over? Okay.
So she's giving him a statement because he reached out and that's basically what he's doing. He's asking for a statement and they're allowed to give statements. Like there's nothing wrong with this.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying, even giving him some information off the record saying like, don't publish this. But like, she's saying a large percentage of this is true, but what she did, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And just for a separate piece, you can say insiders confirmed that there was never morality clause in the Wayfair deal the Wayfair deal with Colleen Hoover. So I'm just assuming she backed the wrong horse and she's had enough. No one knows we have these text messages because it's a smoking gun, but I'm happy for you to start teasing it. Okay. So she's allowed to give him information and statements as one of their PR people. So there's really, I know that some people will see this and be like, see, they were colluding or whatever. I'm like, no, this is what PR people do.
Yeah, that's not.
There's nothing wrong or illegal about this. You can't take away people's ability to defend themselves. If somebody reaches out for comment, you can't then say one party doesn't get to have PR people talk to media. What's that?
Defamation. The law is very specific. You're saying something maliciously that is false.
Right.
And, some kind of a thing. But she doesn't sound like she is confirming or denying anything. Like if somebody's saying that, it's from an insider or whatever. And I don't know. I'll get to the bottom of it, but off the record stuff. Mm-hmm. There's nothing actionable about any of that.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna try to say like she's the insider, but that's what PR people do, as we're learning when we see all these messages. It's like sometimes they'll go on background, which I didn't even know what that meant until like last week, where they'll say you can tell people a source close to, but don't say an official source, like don't quote me. But you can say that you got this from a source, which we see media outlets do all the time. Yeah, but Blake Lively exposing people to these PR tactics that people have never seen before make people think this is some novel, horrible thing that they're doing when it really is just standard practice.
Yep.
So and people are like outraged, I'm sure, all over fucking threads or whatever.
Back when they taught journalism class back in 1994, my freshman year in high school, they were talking about how to get anonymous sources and they're okay and the rules. It's been going on since Walter Cronkite. He had anonymous sources. Howard Cosell, whatever. I guess Walter Cronkite is the father of modern journalism, or grandfather, great grandfather, whatever. They've been using anonymous sources for hundreds of years now.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are just kind of not really paying attention to that because the outrage over stuff like this, it's kind of like, well, you have some confirmation bias, which I know that I have a lot of that as well, but like they have some confirmation bias that's showing them like these people were communicating, therefore what she said about them must be true. And I'm like, dude, this is just how business works. These are their jobs, both of them. They're both doing their jobs. So
you can confirmation bias these nuts.
I might. Yes, yay. I love multiple posts. We'll get on these later. As long as it's not what is your other dog's name? Grover's Nuts or whatever. What is fucking name? I forget. Not Nugget. The other one.
Nugget, Clubber, Butters.
Clubber. I always want to call him Grover. As long as it's not Grover's Nuts.
Grover is a better name for him, honestly.
Yeah. I love multiple posts. We'll get on these later. Why would we agree with the court to dismiss her when she was the person that actually did this? Okay. And off the record again, because you're in my circle of BF trust, I saw that Taylor story come out yesterday. In my 15-year PR instincts told me that it was just them writing a story because that's an obvious story just to be next, for a filler. Okay. See. Her instincts told me that was just them writing a story. Okay, so she's basically saying, I don't know if that Taylor story is true, right? Or it just is filler or something. So I kind of ignored it. Oh, wait, but then I have been given 100% confirmation by materials I've seen with my own eyes of why this is true. So I guess Taylor did get the composer fired.
Hey, I'm going to try to boost my audio. Someone said that's me on Cassidy's stream. My audio is low. I guess in comparison to yours, I'm going to raise the gain. If it sounds funny, just let me know.
Oh, do you know how to do it in StreamYard? I think that's what you have to do.
No, I'm doing it on my Rodecaster, but I'll try to do it in StreamYard.
You see the microphone at the bottom, and hit the little arrow next to it. Hit that.
Oh, how about that?
And then there's a settings.
Yeah, I think I think I got it now.
You see the mic volume thing?
Yeah, is the volume better now, folks?
I think you sound a little louder, so it should be.
That's what she said. I don't know why she said that, but she said
it. Let me text everyone about how gross that was. Okay. All right. So apparently you sound fine. That's what people say. So I guess she found some confirmation that Taylor Swift did get the composer fired. And then she says, I'm assuming that Leslie placed the New York Post story saying they are best friends, which is the most childish bullshit in the world anyways, because these women are nearly 40.
40-year-olds are sometimes the most dramatic, man. Just ask my wife. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, sure.
Sometimes they got the biggest emotions.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a lot of big emotions going on in my house nowadays. As you know, I'm a girl dad, and let's just say there's lots of big emotions, and they all come out all at the same time. And my wife has big emotions. My 6-year-old has big emotions. And, if you say something with too big of a voice, people get in their emotions, and I can't do anything about it. I'm just letting you know the reality of my situation.
Yeah, Omar's surrounded by women. So, one time I was at his house, and then it was late at night, and your oldest came in, and I was like, oh God, I forgot there was another one. I was like, there's another one. That's right.
Literally 4 girls and me and 3 dogs, and 2 of them are gay.
Yeah, right. Let's see. So Perez says Daily Mail is like roulette 50-50, which makes sense.
He says, I'm sorry I have feelings.
Oh my God.
My feelings that, hey, I'm not attacking anybody's feelings, man. I'm just saying that I'm dealing with lots of feelings all the time.
Right. Melissa says, I love them truly. I've kind of grown up in it because I'm British, so I love them. But I also know how this works like you do. I know what the next story would be. So I had to find out for myself. And oh my God, I properly found out.
By the way, I do not need a vacation to the manosphere. They could fuck off. All of them incel folks. And they're just, you know what? I do not subscribe to the manosphere, and anybody that does, just let them grow up a little bit. They'll get to they'll hopefully come to the right conclusions.
Do you know what this is referencing?
I'm assuming it's referencing Andrew Tate manosphere culture, which is.
Oh, but this was the whole thing in Justin's deposition.
Oh, well, maybe. I was just referring to it in popular culture sense.
Yeah, so they were basically badgering him. They badgered him and tried to call him a hero for MAGA Trump supporters. The attorneys were badgering him when he was being deposed at the end. And this was Stephanie Jones' attorney who was talking to him. And then they were like, do you know about the manosphere? Do you know that you're a manosphere icon or something? And they were like, do you know? They asked him at one point, something that made him say, I don't know how to find the manosphere. And then they were like, do you think Jed Wallace knows how to find the manosphere? Do you think Jed Wallace knows where the manosphere is?
Did they really say Baldoni is an icon in manosphere culture? How?
Yeah, they were basically saying that. Do you know that this is what people are saying about you? That you're now like a MAGA hero and a men's right activist hero or something. I don't remember the exact verbiage that they used, but I know they used the word MAGA and then they used manosphere. Yeah, so that's like a running joke now.
Well, the manosphere could come for me if they want to. Send whoever you want, just nobody that you want back. How about that?
Okay. Let's see. All right. I meant to send it to myself. Work on the first video. Going over what you said. Hang on. I send headlines and captions for my videos on my laptop to my phone. He just sent a message by accident. Okay. No media outlet reported the Leslie letter / news yet. Yay. Nope. I can't see it, but it's on Pacer. Perez says mine will be up within minutes. I guarantee you guys it got to it faster than either of these people. Sorry. Okay. I had a busy morning reading my Patreon show and then had a Zoom with a company about some business stuff.
Oh, my wife is telling me that the dog wants to go with me.
Which one? There's 3.
The little one. Nugget. Here, let me see Nugget. Come on, Nugget. It's Chicken Nugget.
Hey, buddy.
He's making his appearance on YouTube.
That one runs away from me.
Yeah, because he does. He hides.
I do scream at him if that makes any sense. But like I scream at him out of love.
You are unfamiliarly loud.
That's very true. Let me see what else I could pull up here that you haven't seen yet, or that I haven't seen yet even. We'll maybe go over like a couple more and then I'll go to bed. Oh, I know what we can do. Hang on. Actually, you know what? Not that one.
No, Lauren's dog is Butter. Singular.
Yeah.
My dog is Butters, like the
Butter.
South Park character. But he's definitely a straight dog. He's definitely not. I have to. All of the dogs are men. Well, they're boys or they're guys. I'm convinced that 2 of them are gay. And the dog
they are gay.
They are. Lauren is a witness. Butters is definitely not. He is not.
Interesting. We'll see if that changes after some time in your house.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, I went to your house a couple times and now I'm gay, so.
You were gay long before.
No, I wasn't.
Remember my daughter's question? The first time he came over, I think it was during the swimming thing.
Oh,
that was the hilarious one.
Which one? Was it the one where she said, "Are you a boy or a girl?" Or was it when she asked about me being your boyfriend?
No, well, I think she might have asked if you were my boyfriend, but she definitely asked, "Are you a girl or a boy?" And you're like, "I'm a girl, but I understand your question."
I do. I get the question a lot by children. Like, because I used to work. I've always had short hair when I've been around kids because I used to work on the children's psych unit. And so a lot of the kids, like, they were just being children. You know what I mean? They didn't mean anything by it, but they would just be like, "Are you a boy?" I said, "No, I'm not."
And then y'all had like a music, you were rocking out to Meghan Trainor or whatever in my kitchen.
Meghan Trainor, Miley Cyrus.
All of those, all of them. Whatever 2012 junior high school music was all about, that was bumping in the house.
High School Musical, got some of that up in there.
High School Musical.
There's a lot going on.
Frozen, maybe. What was it? Party in the USA, whatever that is.
Yes, that is Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, you were bumping that in my truck, and you put that like on social media. I was like, thanks for that.
Okay, let me see what we can pull up here. Too large to upload to the docket. There's a couple of things that we don't have them yet because they were too big to file on a docket. So they had to give like CDs to the court. So I'm trying to find which ones we do have. Hang on. Okay, so yeah, this will be a good one. So these are some texts from Ryan Reynolds to, I guess, Warren Zavala, who was Blake's agent at WME. Hang on, let me make sure I have the right one pulled up. 145, 128. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I'll zoom in a little bit. You can sort of, so this is from Ryan. It says, excuse the long text. Why don't you just condense it? Okay. You can sort of feel the Baldoni stuff coming to a head online. Twitter and TikTok are inexplicably blaming Blake at the moment, but I can't imagine details won't come out because Baldoni and Jamie Heath offended, harassed, or violated too many people. And like we've heard about the offending and harassing and violating, which is basically amounting to, at least from Isabella Ferrer, as my director, he told me that my character should lick a spoon, which is actually a scene that's written into the book that the movie is based on. So,
I've certainly seen the movie, nor have I read the book. Is it any good?
I have not read the book. I've only seen the movie.
I think you said the movie was like a C+.
It was like, I didn't hate it, but it's like, this is not a movie that I feel like is a standout movie. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh my God, I love that movie. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, fine. I felt fine about it, you know, which is why it's so bizarre that they've like gone to war over this film. I was just kind of like, okay,
well, thought it was going to become a franchise, I guess, you know, whatever.
Well, they have the rights to the sequel as well. Wayfarer does, and she wants the rights to the sequel, and so so they're trying to do all this, but like, let's see. The internet is obviously looking for answers and obviously seeing how every cast member and key crew member, including Colleen, won't be in the same room as the guy. And that's because, like, even Colleen said in her deposition, like, she unfollowed Justin because Blake asked her to. And Blake is, like, telling all these people, look, he's getting us bullied and he's trying to make himself look like a hero because he won't let us talk about domestic violence in our marketing when it was, like, her fault. And Ryan's company that was in charge of the marketing. Let's see, won't be in the same room as the guy. All of them have at some point over the last 6 months unfollowed him on social media because you asked them to. Not one person has said Justin's name out loud. Well, you asked them not to. In any interview at any time. At what point do Justin and Jamie not take a moment to step into the light and say, maybe it's us? No, fuck that.
I gotta tell you, man, it makes so much sense to me now, like why I burned out like on this entire industry when I was like 20 years old. Like these folks are insufferable, like at least in law. Like these kinds of arguments, these emotional temper tantrums, they don't go anywhere with the court. You can just pretty much disregard them because they mean nothing. But
right, but we like reading this stuff because it validates our feeling that these people are psychopaths. So
well, then by all means, carry on.
You gotta tune into your inner like need for understanding, like need for being like, yes, I knew I was correct. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
Let's see.
I'm all tuned in. Let's do it.
It's all of them have at some point over the last 6 months unfollowed him. Blah blah blah. I can't yet tell if overwhelming success this weekend amplifies or snuffs this out. We're navigating uncharted territory in so many ways. Todd Black called me in a bit of a panic. The call didn't go well because he's looking to brainstorm ways to diffuse the stuff with Baldoni. Well, yeah. Paraphrasing here, but basically Todd's line of thinking is, why doesn't Blake just hit it head on and say, Justin and I had disagreements and didn't get along, but we both loved the film so much, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which honestly is great advice. I'm sorry, that's the best thing they could have done. And I think he probably would have done it. So
Justin and I had disagreements and didn't get along, but we both loved the film so much. It's all right. Well, yeah.
I mean, why didn't they just do that? And they didn't even have to market together. Like, they could have just said that, like, when people asked, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And what I expressed to Todd is this attitude and approach is the exact problem. If I'm getting it right, he and Ange would prefer Blake to roll over and lie because the box office is on fire. How could they spend so much time with her yet have no sense of who she is or what she's made of? Well, in the messages that you've seen now between the Sony execs, they did know what she was made of, and they called her a terrorist and epically stupid. I told Todd, what's up?
I said unequivocal.
Yeah. No, they like said that shit. Like they were going, one of them was going in on her. They were just like, she's a terrorist. She didn't listen to anything we said. She brought this on herself. Like it was all this crazy stuff.
They certainly knew who she was, is all.
Yeah. Let's see. I told Todd it's infuriating anyone would look at Blake to fix a problem Baldoni, Jamie, and to a certain degree, Ange literally manifested. Instead of aggressively influencing steps to create a safe work environment for Blake and every other woman on set, they responded in a laughably impotent and meek ways. They revealed their hand immediately and often. Like, this really is a long fucking text. I'm super frustrated because this is a moment in which Blake should be celebrating.
This is a text?
He goes, Paul, excuse the long text, and then he goes on and on and on.
Holy shit.
No, he's fucking crazy, man.
Oh my God.
And when people said like Ryan was behind the content creator subpoenas, I wasn't really sure about that. But reading this message, I was just like, yeah, I believe that because like
And it's
he's
like in perfect like grammatical form and everything. Like he typed it on a word processor. I don't even
he
know if
like
that's the word, but
he pays so much attention to online discourse. When I first read this, I was like, dude, like if I had that kind of money and that kind of life, why the hell would I be sitting there listening to TikToks about people who don't like me? You know what I
because
mean?
we
Like
have nothing, no other worries in the world is why.
this is so freaking bizarre. I was like, dude, just like turn off your phone or like go to a fan page for Deadpool and you'll be fine. You don't need to like
Yeah.
look at all these videos of people who don't like you and your wife. It will blow over. If they had just let this go, it would have blown over so fucking fast.
To be fair though, and you've gotten a lot better at this, like you'll get like 100 really positive comments and then you get like one negative one, and that's the one that you'll fixate on.
Yeah.
And then I saw the last one you got that I saw of yours, somebody said that, oh, you have all this interesting stuff to say, but you're still boring. And you're like, why don't you go sit on a cactus, bitch? Like,
Well, I mean, yeah.
It was done. It's like
It got boring. I was like, this is
so
so fucking boring. Like, you guys are boring. Go away. But it's like my thing is also though, like if I had all that money and like I had a penthouse in New York and I had like 4 kids and a wife, I would not be sitting there like I've got to get back at these TikTok people. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
I don't know. People fixate on the stupidest things.
Yeah. Let me see. Where did I leave off here? I just want to like read the rest of this dramatic crap. She fucking refused to give up on the film. She didn't sleep. She missed countless moments with her kids while sitting in edit rooms. I mean, they have like multiple nannies. Okay. I don't get it, but you know, whatever. Scrapping to and frame fucking dailies for every square inch of quality. She slammed together a recipe for success despite working with ingredients she wasn't even able to choose. All this while masterminding a world-class marketing and promo plan. Okay, the backlash that she's getting is because they masterminded the marketing and promo plan. And again, they're like seeding this idea into Isabella and Colleen and everyone's minds that Justin and Wayfair Studios were responsible for them not having like domestic violence themes in the promotion and marketing of the movie. Well, there are so many like messages behind the scenes showing that they firmly grasped that they were the ones doing this marketing and promo plan, and it was their responsibility. And so they had all the power in the world to change it. And rather than change it, they decided to try to poison the cast against Justin and say that it was his fault, because if they did change it, it would have been less profitable for them in marketing her booze and hair care line. So
I gotta tell you, man, the only person that would write a text message like this is somebody that lives in a world without consequence.
yeah.
And the same goes for Blake Lively. Like these folks they live in a different universe. Like there's not enough adversity, and it's self-created. And like they have this ability to just not have to swim in it because of their connections or whatever. These are two insufferable people. The lot of them. I mean, they're just operating in this stratosphere. Like I read a letter like this, and you read a letter like this, and it's like you're just completely off the wall. But for them, they really think that they're making a point. And because nobody tells them the truth about the way they communicate with folks, they continue. And they're like in their 40s now. They're never going to change.
Like almost, she's late 30s or something. He must be in his 40s. I'm not sure.
Oh, bullshit. She's basically 40. She was 39 last year. She's got to be 40 now.
Was she 39 last year? Oh, wow.
Okay. When we started this lawsuit, she was 39, and that was a year ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought she was like 37 for some reason.
And if I'm wrong, then, well, sugar plums.
It's close enough. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, fine. Let's see. I cannot read this word for word. It's just bizarre, and I've seen it once, and I'm like, I can't. She willed this weekend into reality. Baldoni and these other buckets of dumb juice should be acknowledging the speculation and gossip themselves. They should be jumping in front of it in the most full-throated, unqualified way now. They should be protecting Blake. They can and should accept the consequences of their actions and lean into the countless and willfully gross behavior before it leans into them. Blah, blah, blah.
What a pair of Marys. It's like that Office line. Oh. I don't know. I was watching the Office reruns or Office clips, and then there's that one where it was pretzel day, and they wouldn't let that guy cut in Vance for refrigeration. And then he goes, what a pair of Marys. And then Stan's like, it's pretzel day. That's my reaction to having to read this text in the previous PGA letter. What a pair of
Oh my god. I'm trying to see if this is the one where he insults Sony, because this is going to be the reason they didn't want his messages to come out are obvious, because like he insults Sony and their executives in these messages. And then in another message, which we won't read tonight, he emails Colleen Hoover and he's like, I could not get the Sony chairman's out of my mouth, basically like saying he couldn't get his dick out of his mouth.
Oh, I know what you meant.
Yeah. Okay.
You didn't interpret for me. I got the
okay. Let's see. I don't know if this is the one. Yep, here it is. Okay. So Warren says he's talking about the online stuff. He says, I think a lot of these are bots, which, you know.
Who the fuck is Warren Zavala? Who's this guy?
Blake's agent at WME, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. He says, first of all, I love your writing. Wow. That's.
I'm sure. Okay. See, that's the problem, man. He's not telling him the truth.
No.
He's being sarcastic when he says that. First of all, brilliant text. Brilliance.
Yeah. Let's see. Todd and Angie are fucking textbook ineffectual elderly people with no ideas or thoughtful communication skills, just blunt instruments with 6 catchphrases and about 5 keywords.
I've been like, wow, Reynolds, that was fire, man. Fire. Where do you come up with this stuff? Ineffectual elderly people, effete penises? That was brilliant. Give me more of that shit. You know what? Whatever you're on, I want some of that.
Yeah, right.
I feel like, I don't know, man.
This guy is like, the agent is, you know, kind of doing the same thing that Justin's agent, I believe, did when I read their messages. Like they kind of take the side of their client. And he's obviously, you know, trying to, I wouldn't say placate Ryan, but he's trying to be on good terms with Ryan and like side with him. So he's saying like crazy stuff like, I hope this fraud shit weasel is exposed. So you guys are crazy.
They gotta be more like Tom Cruise in that one movie where he was an agent. What was it called? Something Jerry.
I don't know.
What was the movie called where you complete me? Jerry Maguire. He's gotta be like the agent in Jerry Maguire.
Oh.
See, Tom Cruise, he told his client the truth. It's like, you know what? You're soft. And you complain too much and you suck. All of these complaints is bullshit. All you care about is looking pretty or whatever, and you don't care about the bigger picture. I'm trying to get you paid, but I can't do that because you're over here complaining about all this bullshit. And then they have their falling out, and then he's like, that's what I'm talking about. And then they go, I gotta rewatch that movie. Jerry Maguire, that's the one. I'm saying that's the kind of agent that Ryan Reynolds needs, not William Zavala, who's basically co-signing in all of this bullshit. Sugar plums.
So let's see. This is all spin. I think we let it burn. So Ryan, you know, also brings Depp into this a lot. He's comparing Justin to Johnny Depp, which a lot of people like Johnny Depp. I never really followed the Depp Heard case too much, so I don't have a huge opinion
I got
on Johnny Depp.
On that. I'll tell you what. Well, you know what? Wrong time and place. I'll give my.
Good. I mean, if you want to, you can.
Well, Johnny Depp, I mean, clearly Amber Heard, there was some missteps. There was also a mismatch in the attorney groups that were representing the respective parties. Mm-hmm. And because of that, Amber Heard came off looking a lot worse than what she actually could have. But there was evidentiary stuff that was found inadmissible that 100% should have been admitted that would have made Johnny Depp look like absolute scum. He 100% committed acts of domestic violence against Amber Heard. She 100% committed acts of domestic violence against him. What was the score and all of that? You be the judge. All I'm saying is the level of vitriol towards Amber Heard was widely disproportionate from what Johnny Depp received. And I thought a lot of that had to do with bad PR.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So I did, you know, see, I caught some of that, just like the funny stuff, like the guy in his car who was testifying, who was basically just like acting like he didn't have the time of the day for that shit. Like I caught some of the highlights of that, but I didn't really watch the trial.
Well, there was just one example, like the main example, because you're right, I remember that guy, but the main example was there was one piece of evidence where Johnny Depp full on kicked the shit out of Amber Heard, like in the back and like knocked her down or something like that. And for whatever reason, that was found inadmissible. And so they didn't really get to discuss it, but it was something that happened. It was evidence that should have been admitted, but because of ineffective assistance of counsel or for whatever, they didn't object or make the proper argument at the right time. It was found inadmissible. And so that piece of evidence never got admitted, which would have at least not absolved Amber Heard what she was trying to say, but at least gave credence to the idea that Johnny Depp was also taking shots on her. And they were both kind of sort of in the wrong in that whole relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I did get the sense. My overall sense was that it was a very toxic relationship. I was like, I don't know who was in the wrong more, but I definitely heard more about how Amber Heard was in the wrong, and like she came across as very unlikable to me because of like what I was seeing and hearing. So I mean,
Well,
that
that's
kind of
like,
tracks.
the
But
big highlight was she shit on the bed as a present for Johnny Depp.
I recall that
About
part. Yeah, I recall that
That's what
part. Yeah.
everybody remembers. They don't remember the other stuff,
Um. Yeah. So that.
which is
Anyways,
classy.
that.
I mean, very classy. Jesus
So that.
and Megapint. That's what people remember. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Go.
I don't remember
Go.
Megapint. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like a big ass glass of wine, like bigger than this one, like a pint of like how much is 750 mils? Is that a pint? I know, but is a bottle of wine like essentially a pint of wine? He had like a glass that was a mega pint.
Interesting.
Which now that I'm saying it, I'm confused as to what it is. It's a big ass glass of wine, is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I mean,
so
yeah. 375 mils is a pint or some. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it was a big ass bottle.
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, like Ryan Reynolds is fixating on this, like comparing it to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and I'm like, these people were in a relationship where they obviously both at times treated each other very poorly to this extent that abuse allegations were being thrown around, and so I'm like, this is completely different than Justin as a director calling the wardrobe of his actor sexy. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe they're actually making that comparison, but he's fixating on this. And a lot of people like Johnny Depp. Like I said, I don't really have any strong opinions on him because there's so much I don't know about all that stuff. But a lot of people like Johnny Depp. And I'm like, if he keeps throwing around people's names like this, like Johnny Depp, or like talking about people like the way that he's in these messages, knowing that they're like filing a lawsuit, this stuff might get out, it's going to kind of possibly turn some people against him. So.
Johnny Depp is one of the most likable people in Hollywood that's ever been. I mean, he's basically that guy that dances in rain, singing in the rain. Who's that guy? Gene Kelly, I think. He's like basically Tom Hanks. I mean, nobody dislikes Johnny Depp. And by the way, there's people in the comments saying that I'm wrong on he kicked him or he didn't actually kick him or someone. The point was I don't know what the truth of that is. I'm just saying that there was evidence to suggest that he kicked the shit out of Amber Heard, and it wasn't admitted because I believe their attorneys fucked up or sugar plumbed it. They sugar plumbed it.
Right. So maybe whether or not it was, accurate or true, it's like it could have been made to look more even. I guess is kind of what you're trying to say.
The PR was really disproportionate because of the way the respective attorneys groups handled it. Is all.
Gotcha. Let's see. Somebody asked me to go back to the part where he says that something about contacting a journalist. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, somebody says it was admitted. She got the test. Well, then forget. Well,
is that true?
I mean, I don't remember that trial. That was like 5 years ago or someone. That was literally when I first started YouTubing. It was like 3 or 4 years. I don't remember exactly. I didn't cover that trial particularly. I was still trying to figure out how to use OBS until I gave up and started using StreamYard.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did that too. Okay, so he said here, somebody's going to just tell a journalist the real deal and it's going to blow up in his face. And ultimately, that is what happened. They went to the New York Times. They then, laundered the evidence, filed the CRD complaint. The Times article came out and all this happened. So this was in August 2024. So this was about 4 months before the Times article and the CRD and all that. But yeah.
Around the time of Van Zandt.
Yeah, so Van Zandt, I don't know if you heard this part about how Van Zandt came about, because it actually came out in the Taylor Swift text. Stephanie Jones had one of Taylor Swift's close friends bring this stuff to Blake Lively. And there's communications that show that. And then Taylor Swift and Blake Lively are texting about it, saying how Stephanie Jones had this person just said, "Hi, I'm here with a PR check, and Stephanie wants you to have these messages to see all these awful things these people are saying about and doing to you." And then so after that, Taylor and Blake are communicating about these messages. She's reading the messages from the phone, the thousands of pages of messages or whatever, the thousands of messages. And the Van Zandt lawsuit obviously hasn't happened or anything like that. So she's just going through and reading that stuff, and then you've come to find out that the Van Zandt thing is somehow connected to Taylor in that way, that she knew about that.
Yo, I gotta find You remember Anita? I gotta find that lady.
Anita was right about so much shit.
Because that's exactly what she said happened, like way back in like February.
Yeah. And then the Van Zandt, like somebody from Van Zandt actually got deposed. I don't know if you saw that, and they confirmed like we never had any communications with Stephanie Jones before this subpoena happened. So yeah,
evidence laundering.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, where the hell did Anita go? She got really quiet.
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know. I think that she just probably got tired of the sleuthing, or it was like a hobby. Maybe she just went and did something else.
It was fair enough, honestly. That's exhausting. She was doing a lot. She was doing a lot of work.
She really was. And then like the time that like and she was overseas, and you know, I forgot where. I think she was in New Zealand or something, but like every time she would come on my streams, it was like 3 a.m. for her over there.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You can only do that for so long. And so I just think that she probably just got burnt out and did something else.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could find her or whatever, or if she's out there, then she could come back. And now that all this is coming out, because I think it's basically proved 90% of what she predicted was or said was happening way back like in March.
That's pretty crazy. Okay, let me run through these real quick. Dwayne Tenner, thank you for being a new member. Appreciate that. Jennifer Vaughn, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Let's see, Blue Kiwi, thank you for the I don't know what the name of the currency in New Zealand is, but thank you for the $89.99.
Some kind of Iceland or Greenland.
Oh, and here's another one. Thank you very much. Iceland or Greenland? Oh God. Question: would the Van Zandt lawsuits come underreported Nemo auditor proprietem terpent what?
I don't even know. I'm not even going to pretend to know what that question means.
Underreported Nemo auditor proprietum turpentinum.
I don't know what that. It's like Latin. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I wish I could answer the question. I'm really sorry about that.
I'll tell you what. This is where I think Van Zandt landed. I think that Van Zandt was a huge red herring, and I think that the Wayfarer parties were purposefully silent on the Van Zandt issue, much to the chagrin of all of the content creators who wanted to talk about it. And I think that the question about what were they going to get out of Van Zandt at the most was going to be inadmissible evidence. And I think that the lively case against the Wayfarer parties was so incredibly weak that it just didn't matter. And it was better for them to just leave Van Zandt out there as a red herring and just address all this stuff on the MSJ, because it wasn't even referenced in the MSJ. They don't give a shit about Van Zandt. The only benefit they were going to get to Van Zandt was whether or not they were going to need to exclude evidence on account of it. But it turns out the case was so weak, there was no evidence to exclude. So how about who gives a shit?
Good, fair enough. Let's hopefully that answered the question. If not, I'm sorry, but thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate that.
I'm just assuming that's what she was trying to ask. Maybe it's like a autocorrect or something.
The unsolicited opinion, thank you for the $2. There's a petition circulating to remove her PGA. I've seen that, yeah. This is for you, Omar.
Thank you for the what is it? I don't know what MYR is.
I don't either. There's a lot of currencies we don't know.
Well, I'm going to look it up. Currency, MYR currency is it's worth what is it? Oh, it's from Malaysia. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
What is it called, though? Like, what is it called?
It is called a ringgit. The Malaysian ringgit is the official currency of Malaysia. So thank you for that.
Let's see. Imagine, thank you for the $10 SD PJ Wall. Thank you. Imagine RR settling, admitting his faults and arrogance, and that I was wrong. That would shock and provide the best direction forward and alleviate his wife. I do not see this man that wrote this message doing that, but I think I know what you're trying to say. I appreciate that. Thank you. And then again, with the $5, thank you very much. Can you please answer the question as far as what is best forward for Ryan? Does it not make sense for him to be humble, admit fault, settle? I don't know. What do you think?
For Ryan Reynolds, I mean, ultimately, I think this case is getting settled. I think that the most logical thing to happen would be for them to try to come to a settlement. And they're going to probably try to propose, look, you walk away, we'll walk away. Nobody pays anybody's fees. But I really think that the Wayfarer party's like, look, we racked up like $15 million in attorney fees fighting your bullshit. And if we MSJ it out, then fuck off with all of that. You're making us go to trial? No. Pay $15 million in the attorney fees and costs, and then we'll walk away. And then we'll sign non-disparagement agreements. And then we'll, agree to not bring further causes of action, whatever. I think that's probably where they're going to try to go with it. Where they land, I don't know. I don't foresee this going to trial, not on the strength of this evidence. And I don't think there's much better evidence coming. I think we got what we got.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Blue Kiwi 1239. Thank you for the $16.99. Appreciate that.
Could we label what an NZ is? Okay, NZ. I'm on currency identification duty. It is an NZ is it's a New Zealand dollar.
Oh, just dollars. Okay. Well, thank you for the $16. Appreciate that. On the super sticker. And again, sorry if I didn't answer your question earlier. Hopefully we did the best we could. I've never seen that term before though. So this is for you.
Oh, it's so obvious Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's motivation was a takeover, as if they would stick their neck out to get their own resources involved to save the movie unless they saw the return money. Evil opportunists. Yeah. And if you recall Anita's theory, I think Lively and Reynolds were plotting this takeover since like late 2022, where this was going to be Blake Lively's Deadpool. That was the thought anyway. And so they were very much in this for the business of being in it. They had no interest in Baldoni's success. They always had conspired to do this. And, you know, the contemporaneous connection to her SH claims, basically not bringing the allegations until it was opportunistic for her, I think bears this super chat out. That was Anita's theory. That's what Sexy James is saying. It's weird to say that. Sexy James. CA, is that US currency, by the way, or is that Canadian?
Canadian.
Okay. It's Friday night, man. I understand. By the way, hey, lots of love for the Canadians. I appreciate all the love that you guys have shown us in these trying times. And I love the Canadians, is just what I want to remark.
Libby Hawkins, thank you for the $5. This is what I was addressing earlier when we pulled up the journalist message here. Thank you for that, by the way. P. Mahone, thank you for the $5. Is it possible that Wayfair is quiet about Van Zandt because it could be a criminal investigation? I don't know about that. What do you think?
Nah, I don't think they give a shit, honestly.
Okay.
First of all, it's not up to them. That's up to the prosecutors, and I just don't think they care. It matters not. It has nothing to do with the merits of this case. That's all.
Yeah, gotcha. SDPJ Wall, thank you for the $10. That's what's going on with settlement. There is zero chance Baldoni is accepting a settlement without legal fees and more, including a clearing of his name. Please discuss. I mean, yeah, I would think so at this point. But if the harassment claims were to be thrown out on summary judgment, I think that would do a lot to clear his name. So maybe at that point they just worry about the recovering the fees. I mean, it would be my thought, but only if that stuff is thrown out. So
I think that the apology, they're never getting an apology. That's
she'll never apologize. No, but they might pay the fees though.
Pay the fees. I mean, what, either that or risk going to trial and be taking an even bigger PR hit than they've already taken. If this goes to trial, all of this shit is coming out, and not only is it coming out, but they're going to have to be forced to answer, and that cannot happen for Lively. She cannot be forced, and she has no Fifth Amendment right not to testify. If they want her to testify, she's going to have to face cross-examination, and they're going to make her look like an idiot on the stand for days, multiple days, probably 2 days of cross-examination, and that's worth money to her, I have to imagine. I just don't think they want to do it with an apology. Now, if they get an apology, hey, good for them. I just don't think it's coming.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see. This is for you.
I believe it will go to trial. I just want JB to get cleared. He's going to get cleared. He's not getting. Look, the SH is already off the table, and I think that the breach of contract stuff doesn't even really necessarily involve him. He's getting cleared no matter what. I don't think that any allegations against Baldoni is surviving the MSJ. Whether or not he gets an apology, though, in a settlement, doubtful. If it goes to trial, I don't think it matters if she tries to apologize at that point, because I think the PR megastorm against her will be so great, it will be potentially career-ending for her. That's what's at stake for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Right now, everybody has an opinions. Wait till they sit there and have to face cross-examination on national TV. That ain't going to go very well. They're not very likable to begin with. And if they speak at their depositions, and if their deposition testimony is any preview of what they're going to sound like at trial, forget it. They're like the most unlikable witnesses, and a jury will eat them alive, let alone the national public, the world public at large that has taken an interest in this case.
Right. Yeah. That would be so ugly. Like, really would.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of hope that I don't have to sit in a line outside the courthouse for like a month. So I do hope some of this stuff gets thrown out. I think a judge dismissing this stuff before it goes to trial, I actually think would be a pretty big statement for him, because it just goes to speak to, like, there was obviously no sexual harassment. Why are you bothering my court with this? I think that if he were to go to trial, we also have to bear in mind that could be pretty hard on his family and his friends' families. Like Jamie's wife and Justin's wife was on the set, and she, I believe at one point they might have questioned her. I don't remember if we have any deposition transcripts from her, but I believe she was somebody that they might have been deposing. I don't know if they would ever bring her up and put her through that. You know what I mean? Like, so they probably don't want to put their families and stuff through that either. So it's just like he might not want to go through all that if, maybe he does want this to get thrown out on summary judgment. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like the contract stuff, I think, like you said, that would just be between Blake and the studio, wouldn't it? Or it ends with this movie, I guess. The LLC.
Yeah, really, it's be between Blake and the companies, honestly. And there's a lot less stuff going on. Could you put up Sugar Queen's comment? I want to address this emphatically.
You're getting questions from Sexy James and Sugar Queen tonight. Like, what is going on? Where is it? I can't find it.
It's at 10:36 p.m. Sugar Queen.
I'll find it. There we go.
All right. To be bluntly honest, BL's lawyers are sneaky good. So, well, let me address that. That's been the narrative, right? And I think that a lot of that, here's what I've said about that. If you have a winning case, if you're winning the case on the merits, you don't need to do much. And honestly, when you have the winning case, doing less is more. And when you have a losing case, one of the telltale signs, if you're an objective party looking in on the litigation, is to see what kinds of motions are being filed. If you paid attention to this litigation over the course of a year now, every single solitary opportunity that the lively attorneys have had to bring a motion for sanctions against the Wayfair parties, they've taken up that opportunity. Every single time they've had an opportunity to do the right thing and agree to extensions or agree to certain things to make the litigation easier, they've resisted because they're trying to play this game where they're trying to wear down the other side. It's a tactic that you do that tries to discourage the other party from moving forward, because when you do that, it elevates attorney costs and fees. It gets everybody really sick and tired of the case. It causes people to make mistakes or whatever. So yes, they filed a lot of motions, and yes, they've had a lot of decisions go their way. But when it comes to the merits of the case, and the first time we're really seeing that borne out right now is in this MSJ, they don't have a foundation of merit to stand on. So they might be sneaky good, maybe. They might have the proper strategy because of the nature of the weakness of their case, but they're not sneaky enough to pull one over on the judge when it comes to the law. And so sneaky is good for show and tell, but it doesn't mean shit to result.
Yeah,
How about that?
Yeah. Let's see, we got one more here. House of Chatter podcast, thank you for the 5. Will the morality clause affect the case? And then also, thank you again. It says in regards to Betty Buzz, etc., not Hoover. So Betty Buzz, that's one of Blake's businesses. A morality clause, how would that come into play? Do you know? I don't really know.
Was the morality clause in the contract that wasn't signed?
Maybe.
Then who gives a shit?
I guess.
Okay. There is no written in statutory morality clause.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough.
I think it goes the way of the extraterritorial application of FIHA.
Okay. Hey, Bruce. What's up?
Sugar Plum.
Raised his voice. Sugar Plums. Wait.
I was using my big voice.
Bruce, hello, sir. Did you finish the document you were reading, sir? I'm going to go and finish listening to you when I'm done here, sir. Thank you, sir. All right. Don't worry about it. No, it's in Blake's agreement with her businesses. Oh, well, aren't they her businesses? I mean, I don't know how much of those businesses she actually owns. I don't know if they would do anything about that.
In Blake's agreements with her businesses that have nothing to do with Wayfair, or just, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about the morality clause to definitively rule it out. I'm just saying if it's not if it was in the contract that wasn't signed, then who cares? I guess is my point.
We got one more here. SDPJ. Well, thank you for the 20. What happens if 50% gets tossed out in summary and BL stops? What is the discussion with settlement? I think methinks the key difference right now with settlement is that Justin can't sue back. F an apology. They want and deserve money. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. So if she tries to just because I got this question last night, what if she just tries to dismiss the lawsuit? She doesn't get to do that without permission from the other side. So if she wanted to dismiss right now, they've already racked up probably $1 million a month in attorney fees. So we're looking at $12 to $18 million.
Jesus.
They're going to say, yeah, well, you could dismiss if you want to, but we want our attorney fees and costs, and we are entitled to it because you've dragged us through $18 million worth of litigation. And
she's really suing over this shit, and they're suing over this reputational harm over stuff that she actually did, which is hilarious because for that kind of money, I would just buy a new reputation. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Yeah, just buy a bunch of YouTube views.
Yeah, right. Fuck lawyers.
By the way,
I can do so much with that kind of money.
Did David Jingers really get kicked off of YouTube for nudity?
Yes. Yeah. His YouTube channel was banned permanently for violation of the nudity policy. There was no nudity on his channel. But YouTube uses so many AI bots these days that they I guess it was an error, right? And then he appealed it, and I guess again they said no, violation of nudity policy.
Wow.
And the funniest part of that is he had YouTube TV, which is basically means his cable was frozen out. So he's lost his cable because of nudity violation on YouTube. All his TVs were frozen out and shit. And it wouldn't be funny if he wasn't such a clown and asshole, you know what I mean? But it is funny.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Sugar plums.
Whatever. I mean, it's just I shouldn't laugh because it's a horrible thing for a lot of people when they get their channels struck and therefore some of their livelihood struck accidentally by YouTube AI. But it just happened to a great person.
Let's call it karma. Let's call it karma and move on. How about that?
Yeah. Let's see. I just want to read this question again. What was the discussion with?
Hey, Robert's in the chat. What's up, Robert?
Hey, Rob. Yeah. So hopefully we answered you guys' questions all right. I gotta drive to a 1-year-old's birthday party in Tallahassee tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to get to bed. But
I get to go to Disneyland tomorrow. Didn't know that. My wife sprung that one. Hey, we got Disneyland reservations. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you're gonna be tired then, so
I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. Unless you had something else that you wanted to talk about, I think we're good. Actually, you have one more thing here. If you want.
Do you think JB will refile this case? Or just say, well, he can't refile the case. No, I don't think he's going to refile the case.
Most of that was dismissed with prejudice, right? I mean, could he even refile the stuff that was dismissed without prejudice? Could he do that? No.
If you bring a counterclaim, it's going to be for all the causes of action that you could have brought. And if you don't bring it at the same time that you're supposed to bring it, then you lose the privilege forever, unless there's a really good reason. He doesn't have one. He's not refiling this. So it's either he's going to recover attorney fees and costs or nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate that. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
All right. I love y'all. Bye-bye.